Hi everyone, this is Tara with Tara's Whimsies Bakery, and today I'm going to make this pretty in pink teddy bear, or we're going to probably do a different color because this one's, I don't want to make any more of the pink. I'm not sure, we'll see. But we'll choose a different color for her outfit. But right now I'm just going to show you the body, how to make the body and how I did that. So let me put her aside, and what we're going to do is take a styrofoam cone that I get from the Dollar Tree, or you can get one from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, any kind of craft store I'm sure has them. And I'm going to cut it down to about like a third of this is going to get cut off. About 3 inches is what we're going to take off of this. So I already kind of marked it right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut. For this size, this total size of bear is 6 inches. I make everything about 6 inches. 6 or 12. I tend to go in those increments of measurement. So I'm just going to take my little painter's knife. Well, yeah, that's about right. Move her over there. She's still drying. And then I'm going to make sure that the bottom is straight. So I might need to trim off just a little bit of that. And that's pretty straight. Good deal. What I'm going to do is put my Aleene's tacky glue on this. And I mixed this color. I mixed a brown, a dark brown, and a caramel, and a white to get this real pretty color. The reason I put the dark brown in it is because it was too yellow with just the caramel and the white. So just mix the ratio how you want to create the color you want. I'm just going to roll out my foam clay. I've already conditioned it. And I'm going to have to mix some more of this, and it may not be the exact color, but that's okay. And don't roll it out too thin because you don't want it to tear. This is almost too thin, but I think we can get away with it. Because foam clay does puff up pretty good. So I'm just going to put a little bit. You don't have to use a whole lot. Just enough to get it to stick. And it will stick to itself, so. And I won't put it on the bottom yet or the top. And I'm just going to lay it in here like this. I'll fold it. And then I'm going to cut a nice seam. Whoops. And then I'm going to cut this. Okay. We don't want that in there. Gonna go ahead and put my tacky glue. I'm out of view. And I'm going to cut this off. And I want this really flat. So I'm going to press it down. Really want that nice and flat. And then I'm going to just kind of blend this. Go ahead and get out what you can if you got something in your clay. Just kind of blend that just a little bit. I don't want it thin. And then I'm going to put a touch of the glue on the top. And we're going to just cut that off. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm trying to see what I'm doing over my camera. Okay, that's the first part. And I'm going to go ahead at this time and start texturing because, as you know, or you may not know if you're new to foam clay, it dries very quickly. At least dries to the touch. So I'm going to take this kind of swirly looking tip. This doesn't have a number on it because it's from Amazon and it's just a cheap one. But I'm just going to come in, especially on this seam. I don't want that to be seen, so I'm going to start there. And you're just going to go around and texture this whole little thing. Now, what you can do is go ahead and put a dowel in the top. That way you have something to hold on to, and you're not getting your fingers all in your texture. So I'm going to get this done and I'll be back. One little tip I'd like to tell you about is to really go in deep, because foam clay puffs up. So if you don't go in deep enough, you won't get as much texture as you'd like. So really kind of dig in. You're not going to tear anything up. If you get a hole, just patch it with a little bit of foam clay. Just add it to that section. You're not going to see it because it's textured. That's what's nice about this. And I'm going to press that in because it's not adhering to the styrofoam. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, that's done. And then set it aside to dry. So I'm using ribbon branch clay. You can get clay on Amazon, the Bose clay. But I really like ribbon branch. Now, I haven't tried a whole bunch of other brands, but she reached out to me and started me on my clay journey using different clays, because I was just using Bose at first. And I love her. It's a little bit firmer than Bose, so the drying time is better. And it just has, for me, the structure of it is really good. I love it. I'm going to do her legs first, and then we're going to do the skirt. And then we do the arms last, and her head. So we work from bottom. We work body to legs to arms to head, and then decorations. Well, we do the skirt before we put the arms on. So there's a little bit of a process. So I'm going to go ahead and do her legs. Her legs are about, let's call it 2 inches, and then we can trim it off. So we're going to go 2 inches. And I'm just going to take a ball, and then I'm just going to make a log. And you don't want it extra thin. You want it kind of chunky. So I'm going to measure this. It's about 2.5 inches. But what I'm going to do here, we want to start out making it about 3 inches, because sorry. Let me point you down. About 3.5 inches or 4 inches I'm going to start. And I'm going to put my finger right here, and I'm going to press up like that and give her a foot. Okay, and then I'm just going to press down gently. And that will stay. And you can see what that little foot looks like. Just like that. If you need to round it or shape it, do that now. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of gauge how much I want her legs sticking out. And I think on this one, I'm going to have her legs come out a little bit further on her hip area. And so I'm going to cut this to about 2.5 inches. I don't cut off so much that I have to add back to. So once I cut it off, see, that's just too much. So I am going to cut it to about from here to the ankle, let's say, about 2 inches, maybe 1 3/4 actually. Yeah, about 1 3/4 inches. And I want to put them mainly over here like that. Let's go ahead and attach. I'm going to take my little skewer. I'm just going to trim off. I like to trim off that really pointed end because I want my clay to have something to. So I'm going to put it in here like this, because that's where I want the leg. And then I'm going to put the leg in like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue. I take my super glue, or you can use tacky glue. I like super glue. I just feel like it really sticks, so I just like a lot of security. And I'm just going to put I need to go get some more. I put a generous amount. And then I'm going to stick it in. And you kind of stick it in up above. You've got this thickness of your leg. So you're going to stick it in where the leg is equal to this bottom piece. And then I'm going to put some, press that in as much as possible. I'm going to put some super glue on the end of this. And I'm going to go ahead and slide it on like that. Okay? And then, that looks cute. You might keep needing to press your clay up. But at this point, we want to go ahead and texture. And make sure to put all your little pieces up so they don't dry out. Take our little piping tip. Like I say, I don't remember which one this is. And press down deep. But don't press so deep that you are messing up the shape of your leg. You know, we want to kind of be careful on this part. Maybe kind of support on either side. Do some twisting motions. All right, I'm going to repeat the process and I'll be back. Okay, so all you have to do is, if this little leg is just a touch bigger than this one, all I got to do, and I don't mind the size, so instead of taking off from this, I'm going to add to this. So the clay is still wet, so it's easy to blend. And it's just like that, easy to blend. As long as the clay is wet, it's super easy. That's that. And now we're going to do the skirt. So let me get the color ready and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So what color we're going to use for her dress and bow and all of her accessories is Sugar Cookie from Ribbon Bridge Craft. It is a beautiful pale yellow. I think I'm going to make it even paler. Let's see what we think. So as you can see, I added quite a bit of white to it. That just tones it down a little bit more for my liking. For this project, I always save my empty bags because you need to keep extra bags for when you mix colors. So, just are not completely okay, and I'm just going to take little folds. I'm not going to do great big ones. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it. And it's too big, so I'm going to cut it. I'm just wanting a little ruffle to go around her waist. And I'm going to come up higher than I did on this one. I like the look of kind of an empire waist. So I'm going to come up about right here. So that's going to be perfect. And I'm going to lay that on. And let's go ahead and shape it. So I'm going to take my little tool here. Oops. Just give her some pretty defined. And then where this bubbles up, I'm going to bend it. Where each one bubbles up here, I'm going to bend it like that. It's like a pie crust, like you do a pie crust. See, like that. And I'll be back when I've done this part. Okay, I'm back. So I got her little skirt done, and I got a little bit of yellow on there, but I'll fix that. So this is what it looks like so far. Now we're ready to do arms, and then we're going to do her head. Her arms measure about, what did I say earlier? It's about 3 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and make it about 3.5 inches, and then we'll trim it down. So let me just take a chunk, roll it out, and roll it, and I always press down on one end and let it puff out on the other, just like you do a gingy. And then if it gets too fat, and I kind of want her hands to be about the same, not quite the same width as the feet, but almost. So I'm going to cut it right at about, 3.5 inches. Cut that right at about 3.5 inches. I'm going to wrap it. Okay, it can go a lot shorter. Let's see what I think. I think the arm is just a little bit too big. Press down. Okay, that looks better to me. See? Alright, and I'm going to cut it off back here. About like that. But before I do that, I'm going to have to put my little armature in there. That's perfect. I like that. Kind of do the opposite. Alright, so here they are. And it's going to go like this. But first we're going to put her armature in. So I'm going to take my other little skewer and I'm going to get my little okay, I've got just a little peg here, and just like I did the legs, I'm going to put my, so I just set my pegs in, And you just don't want it to come out beyond the thickness of your arm. So I'm going to press that in and make sure. And that's going to wrap around like that. Okay. So you're going to add a little bit of glue there and press it in. Press it there like that. Same with this one. And I need to curve that. Make sure they're even and press it in just like that. You can kind of bend her arms. And let's go ahead and texture now. I kind of messed up because I forgot to put her little ribbon around before I put her arms on. I got so excited about putting her body together. So we'll do that in here in a minute. But I went ahead and textured everything and got it all. And I curved her arms. I wanted her more curved because she's going to be holding something. Not sure what yet, but she will be holding something. Teddy bear texture is just chunky and fuzzy. So you're just trying to get that overall appearance. So you can, there's more than one way to do that. Okay. So that's that. So far, so good. We're doing good. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and put on her head, and then we'll do the ribbon around and her bow. Because I don't want to put my hands in that bow while I'm trying to get her head done and all that. All I had here last night. There it is. See, I was going to impress it down. I was going to do this last night, but I was just... But we can take this out now. Let's just set this down in there and see what we think. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. I like it kind of set back like that, so it gives her a little chest area here. It gives more of that teddy bear roundedness. Yeah, that looks cute. We can do that. Alright, so what I'm going to do, because this clay is dry that I had put on last night, and see I'm messing up my back here. Let's get that textured again. You really can't mess it up, but I don't want to have to do too much work to it if I don't have to. I'm sorry if I've been all over the place, but that's just how my mind works. There. That's good. That's that middle. You just want it to be meaty enough that when you press it in. Okay, and we're going to get this line, an imaginary line. We're going to put her eyes in this area. So I'm going to put just a little dab of... Man, I've got this. There's a flat front and a flat back. Okay. Oh, I hope this turns out. If it doesn't, we'll start over. I'm not going to just leave it because if I don't like it. So, okay. Just going to, this little stick is the center almost. It's a little bit off. So let's, about right here is where I want these eyes. And then her little face here. And then her little forehead, her ears, and a bow. So about right here. Put just a dab. It's a little tiny bit. Goes a long, long way. Make sure you put the right with the right and the left with the left. And that they're even. Gotta come over here so I can see. Now we can kind of start pressing those in just a little bit. Give her a little expression. Okay. She's got a wide. Okay. Now, we're going to come in and we're going to put a muzzle on her. You just need a little round ball. And I want her muzzle to be about this big. So take a little bit of that off. Put it in a ball. Press it down. Press it down. Like that. Start shaping it how you want it. Okay. And now we're going to put her her mouth in. So I'm gonna just do it like that. I kind of liked it where, you know, a bear has a real like droopy bottom lip. I just think it's so stinking cute. So I'm gonna really kind of press down and make that bottom lip just prevalent. And then we're going to put on a little bottom lip. It's really kind of exaggerated. It's just so stinking cute. Bears and their lip. Okay, like that. And I don't like the way that's looking in there. It'll puff back out, but still, it might look wonky. So let's kind of smooth that out. Okay, we're going to put her nose on, and I'm just going to do an oval for this, and then I'll put makeup on it. I think I want it bigger than that. Bears have pretty big noses. I kind of pronounced. Sorry, I'm out of view again, guys. I'm the worst about that. I get so involved with what I'm doing, I forget about y'all. That I need to show you what I'm doing. There, I like that little, oh, that nose is so cute. Yeah. You know, I'm still getting used to making sure everything is even, seeing what it looks like from the sides. I'm just going to make sure that those sides meet with this muzzle. So I'm just going to barely roll that down. Barely roll that down. Just like that. You can kind of blend that a little bit. Foam clay does not like to blend, but I try to make it do what I want it to do, so there. We will not let it beat us. Okay, there we go. All right, let's put the little eye. Let's go ahead and do some texturing before it dries. Actually, before we texture, let's go ahead and just press it down in there. Now her head's a little bit bigger, so I don't mind. This is a kind of a, you know, this is caricatures. This is not like, I'm not trying to be realistic with my bear. So let's press this. I want that to sit right on top of that the neck. There we go. And then I'm going to fill that in here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and glue her in. You got to really go ahead and make sure that your hole is pre-drilled or pressed in, pre-made. There she is. Press her down real good, and we're going to go ahead and do some texturing. I'll be back when she's textured. Okay, I've got her textured little head, and now this bear has more of a egg-shaped head. But what I can do is come here and fill this out, and that's what I'm going to do now. Let's take our little tool here and just refine this seam, making sure that it is all getting, try not to mess your ruffle up like I just did. I am the worst about putting putting my hand where it doesn't go. That's okay. There's going to be a huge bow back there, so it's not going to matter. All right. I'm going to put some clay up underneath the neck and connect those two pieces together. Now, normally you'd let things dry and come back and stuff, but for time's sake, I wanted to get this done with y'all today. You know, I'd let things set up, so to speak, and where, you know, I'm not going into any of my texture. Now, she doesn't look like she's got such an egg head. So we just had to fill in that portion. I'm glad I pressed that down in the back. She's got a more rounded head, which is cute. Let's go ahead and put her ears on. And then I'll do a part 2, and we'll do her bow and her necklace and just all the details, okay? So let's put her ears on, and then I'm going to end the video here and come back for a part 2. I'll make sure to film it as I'm getting this. So I'm just doing her ears. I'm just doing her ears. So I'm going to do a circle, a ball. Can y'all see me? Press down. And then I'm going to press up. And I want to make sure that ear's pretty thick. It's about, let's see, it's about a 1/4 inch thick. I'm going to get another ball. Press down, press up, make sure it's the same width and size. That looks good. They're about the same thickness. That looks so cute. Oh my gosh. I just love teddy bears. They're so stinking cute. I'm so glad that I thought to do this last night. I was like, I just was having a problem figuring out what do I want to do next. I really wanted to do an animal. I don't know. It's just springtime always makes me think of the animals and just everything coming back to life after winter. So I'm just going in and just getting that seam kind of adhered in texture. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I textured the ears and pushed them forward just a little bit. Really kind of gave them a concave look in there. You can see that. Textured. Made sure the seams are good. Let me fix that. I'm seeing something that I don't like. Let's fix that. Okay. So I'm going to come back for a part 2 where we'll do the bows and the little trim here. We'll do her makeup and just all the shading and detailing. We've got to put the little pads of her feet on and in her ears and just little things like that to get her finished up. And I'll see you in the next video. I'll post on Facebook when the video the next one will be coming up. So I'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.